We escaped! Hello, everybody, and welcome. And welcome to our con report for Forest City Comic Con, emanating from the city of London, Ontario, on October 18th, 2015.
Mere 3 days before the future happens.
That's right, we're 3 days away from the future. Please stay tuned to the Nickscast for more about the future.
And it turns out, if the future comes and we get put in a locked room together, we'll get out!
I mean, you, of all people, would know that, being the Flash.
That's true. I'm the Flash.
Okay, so where do we want to start with this? Okay, first off, I want to say, kind of weird, this was a one-day only Sunday con, which throws the whole schedule of everything off a bit. Because it feels like we're getting into a weekend, but we've already had one.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I need a weekend.
Oh yeah, I feel like I've done a weekend's worth of stuff, but it's all compressed. But like, it's one day and you finish the con, and you're like, oh, that's I'm going to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of weird in that sense, because it felt like, because there were people packing up at like 4.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a quarter of the con still.
Because it wrapped up its... Well, not a quarter, but...
It went 10 to 6.
Oh.
8 hours.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
Math, we learned this weekend, is something we can't... Counting is
We're
something
terrible
we
at
can't
counting.
do.
We'll get to that.
You can't count on us.
Thanks, Z.
I should just stop this now, right?
I know.
Yeah, so I mean, it was fairly short. That being said, there was lots to do.
There were at least like 4 things each hour.
There were at least 4 things going on each hour. There was an entire gaming area for video games, board games, tabletop like Dungeons and Dragons. You could take out your own games if you wanted. There was tons of people cosplaying.
The vendor's room was huge.
The vendor's room was huge. And it was good.
It was.
It's difficult to compare, being as it's only one day, but Next Unplugged, which has been running for a couple years longer.
I think it's been 4 years now.
4 years. This one was on its second.
Yeah.
Comparably, this was a lot better.
I think that probably had a lot to do with the fact that it was a single day.
That would help.
I think it might also have to do with the hotel being adjacent to the convention center.
You can walk through the walkway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Unplugged, you had like the con like way away.
You had to drive.
Were you at the
You had to
Toronto
drive for 10
Convention Center?
minutes.
No,
No,
that was
not
at
for
the
that
Mississauga.
one.
No.
Oh, I know where that one. I know where that one is though.
I was just there for a conference a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. Yeah.
Chloe and G, you guys got to see Bryan Lee O'Malley. Why do I keep thinking Scott O'Malley?
Yeah.
Well.
Can you pass me?
Oh yeah, sure.
That is what I got. I had to kind of cry. Not cry, but look really sad because they were going to cut off time and say, okay, no more autographs. It'll be after his panel.
We'd waited in line
For 40 minutes.
for about 40 minutes to see Bryan Lee O'Malley. He was doing autographs and he was taking pictures with people. He was doing both for free, and he was like actually spending a bit of time with each person.
Especially the kids.
Well, the kids, yeah, he drew little things for them. So like that's why it was taking a long time. It's nice of him, but like.
But they were going to cut it off like right before us.
Yeah, so we'd kind of.
And so we ended up going in with a couple ahead of us, and they kind of said, okay, pretend you're a big group, you're going in together. And so then 3 of us were actually getting autographs, and we got them. Got my autograph, which you can't really see.
Yeah.
Bang!
It's the reverse
It's great.
of that.
Yeah, pretend the opposite. It was awesome. I was really excited. And then we saw a panel featuring him and 2 other comic people.
Chip Zdarsky
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Andy Belanger or Belanger. Yeah. So they were the ABCs of comics. They're all comics artists and writers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of an interesting. They weren't quite at banter level. They were a little bit. It was mostly Andy going, Chip, I remember that one time you did this.
And Chip was like, I have an amusing anecdote for you about that.
Yeah. And then the moderator would occasionally come in and was like, tell us about.
The moderator was pretty good.
Yeah.
If anybody, Bryan Lee O'Malley was the least charismatic of
I don't know, he
stage. Which
just wasn't as talkative.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
He still was, he was lovely and
Yeah.
it was good. It went over, or it was sort of off time though, because I guess a lot of things had been pushed
Everything
back.
in the main room was kind of offset. By the time we got there, it was about half an hour off. So we had to wait in line a little bit. We were the first in line for something at a con, which I don't think I've ever been.
Accidentally. We'd gone over after the DC versus Marvel movie panel that we'd all gone to, and we were like, oh, you know, we got 10 minutes. This is going to be a big deal. We better, hopefully we get seats. And the John Noble panel hadn't even finished yet. So we were like, well, we might as well hang out. And then suddenly everyone's like, oh, is this the line? And we were like, I
sure.
guess so. So suddenly there's this huge line and we're at the front of it. That was great. And what were you guys doing?
Oh, Goat and I were just off doing random
wandering around.
We went into this whole thing with, as I usually do, absolutely no aim whatsoever. So,
well, and comics not being my thing, I was just like, you know what, we'll see what this is like. I'll just have a good time, and I did. I often don't get a lot of pictures of cosplayers because I was just like, oh, I'll do this later. And you know, given that this is a Sunday con, there is no later.
It's now.
So I was just like, anytime I saw somebody that was interesting, it's like, could I get your picture? Could I get your picture? There was like a Garnet and Steven Universe gender swapped pair that I saw wandering around. I knew that it was Steven. I didn't realize it was Garnet until I saw like the big honkin' wristbands.
I saw that.
Big fro,
yeah. I didn't realize what they were.
Yeah,
because I don't watch it. So
yeah, I knew the thing with the Steam Universe is that star. And I saw that around.
We saw Mabel and Dipper.
We saw Mabel and Dipper and Wendy.
Probably.
Yeah. They were.
Pepper Ann.
I was so exciting. A girl walked by and I was like, okay, like purple shirt and kind of like patterned skirt and she had like red hair and I'm like, she looks familiar. And then she's like halfway down the aisle and I was like, that was Pepper Ann.
She's too cool for 7th grade.
She's too cool for 7th grade.
I got confused at one point because there's a guy definitely dressed as Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
And I thought the stars were like the Steven Universe. So I'm like, is that some kind of Steven Universe monkey? Or then I figured it was probably just Diddy Kong.
So, I mean, Goat and I mostly were just wandering around doing that, checking out the board gaming room and the video games. You were, you know, shooting it up.
More Duck Hunt.
More Duck Hunt.
Not as
successful as Unplugged?
No. I really only gave it one shot. And, you know, there were there's a lot more younger kids running around on the game systems today. So, like, they were really chomping at the bit to get on there. So you basically get one round in and then it's like,
that's it.
Here, I can't.
You still did well from the bit I saw you doing.
And in addition to that, not just Goat and I, but all of us, we're on a bit of an adventure room kick. It's like a 48-hour bug.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
I didn't want to, but I wanted to talk about that because at the con they had Exodus, was it?
Exodus. Which is one of the 2 adventure rooms in London, Ontario. The other one being Mystery Escape Rooms.
Yeah. So,
but Exodus was the one at the con.
Yeah, so there was Exodus. It was just this mini escape room. You had 7 minutes to try to figure out the way to get out of the room. So we did that. I don't know if I want to say
anything more about it.
Yeah.
We did it. We got out.
It was fun.
It was fun.
And we got out with about a minute and 40.
Minute 40 to spare.
Like that, yeah.
So, well done us.
Yeah, pretty good. Mm-hmm. We escaped twice.
We escaped twice today because then we went back to Mystery Escape Rooms tonight. There's not really too much we can say about it because we don't want to give it away, but like we did it again tonight and we succeeded on the museum heist tonight.
Yes. Of course, to elaborate, we went last night.
Yeah. We're doing this story in reverse.
We went last night.
The reverse flash.
We went last night to Mystery Adventures. We failed, but just barely, so we had to go back.
Not going to say anything more about that. That was our first time doing it. You just thought, hey, this might be a fun thing to do on the Saturday night before we go. Because it's a con weekend, but there's no one day of the con, so you have to make your own fun on the previous day.
And then literally at breakfast this morning, we were like, let's do it again. Yeah, we should do it again. We could do it tonight. We should do it tonight.
Yeah, as you're like hot gluing the last details onto your cosplay, it's like, yeah.
Can I talk a tiny bit about my cosplay?
I think that's
absolutely.
Go for it. We got some time.
I'm cosplaying. This is my first excursion cosplay. I mean, obviously I've like worn costumes to Halloween or whatever before, but this is my first cosplay at a con. Golden Age Flash, Jay Garrick, gender swapped. And I had a lot of really positive feedback about it. I was like nervous and like this whole costume was just every night. It was just a friggin' disaster leading up to this. But I had some like really, really positive feedback, especially older comic fans, I would say.
Are like...
They were like connecting with me on a personal level. I had a guy come up and be like, thank you. Thank you for cosplaying as Golden Age. And I'm like, you're welcome.
Sure.
But it was really fun. I had maybe, I don't know, 6 or 8 people to stop and take pictures of me.
Yeah, people are excited to see someone
different.
Because even so, there weren't many flashes of any kind.
There was a little kid in like a store-bought flash, and then there was an adult in a store-bought flash.
Interestingly enough, there were not a ton of comic book characters.
That's true.
Like, there were tons of people dressed up, but there were not very many people who were dressed up as comic book characters. There were Disney princesses, there were Star Wars characters, there were anime characters.
Yeah. Just
a few animation like Steven Universe and
there was a few like Batman and
as far as what we're used to seeing,
Green Lantern,
it was pretty standard. We usually see a couple of Batmans and you see a couple of Deadpools. Proportionally, they were represented.
Oh, sorry, there were tons of Harley Quinns. Yeah,
I saw one. What am I thinking of that I saw that was really? I'll think about it, and you keep talking. I had it on my.
We've gotten talking about cosplays a little earlier than we normally might in our cast report.
This is
just because
there's no linear flow to this one.
And also because
I just figured I may as well bring this up now, and you may be biased, Chloe, but favorite cosplay of the day?
Mine.
Stands to figure. And you're tongue-tied. You're tied in with that.
No.
You don't get an opinion.
What did I see? Like, I saw a lot of really, really good ones. Come back to me, because I'm trying to think of the other one that I saw that was a comic book cosplay. Oh, I saw a female Thor. That was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
She was great. There was a female Gandalf, too, that was
amazing.
That
was like one of the first ones we saw.
Gandalf the White. Yeah, we saw her coming down the escalator, I think, when we first got in. It was awesome. Those two might be two of my favorites.
That staff was
there was a dude dressed up as Groot who had a fantastic costume.
Oh,
really?
Groot was really good.
Didn't get a picture of him.
No.
Did not see Groot.
He might have left early because we saw him coming out of the John Noble panel, and then I never saw him again.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say the girl that I saw dressed as the Fifth Doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I was very pleased to see that. So shout out to you, whoever you are.
There are a couple of good ones I saw. It's a hard pick.
I keep thinking more.
But this is the thing. There's no way I can say one and take it right out of your mouth because there are alternatives. I know you have something to fall back on.
Just pick one.
Pyramid Head.
Really? Okay.
We saw him at London Comic Con.
He's so very impressive.
I've seen a lot of pyramid heads, and some were fair attempts. Others were just like, "Did you think about this?" This one was complete with a sound box in the back. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, if you're a fan of the Silent Hill video games, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Thor was fantastic. McFly
and like the girl from like Griff's gang.
Yeah. He had
they were perfect.
The hat, the vest, the shoes,
the hoverboard.
They were all like,
he was
her costume was even I would say hers was even better because I feel like you see Marty or McFly like fairly often, but you don't see her very often, or like the rest of the gang very often.
And the other one I would give it to would be the pack of 4 Ghostbusters.
They were very good.
Very impressive proton packs.
Yeah, loved seeing them do their little conga line right down the middle of the dealer's room. I can't even remember what song they were playing, but it was not Ghostbusters.
No. Yeah. Would you guys go back again?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think, and we were saying this earlier.
As London residents, would you go back
again?
We
were saying this earlier. When we did our con report for London Comic Con, we were saying, if we're not in London this time next year, we probably won't go back to London Comic Con. If we're still in Southern Ontario, like within a reasonable distance next year,
we'd probably make the trip.
We would probably make the trip for this one.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Definitely. Like I said, second year it's been running. Already looking fantastic. I'd be excited to see what shape it takes in the future. And, they've already got big names. They've got an impressive gaming area, like a dedicated gaming area, way better than Unplugged did it.
It was the same.
It was the same company, but the layout and the expansion of it, like, it was just, it was bigger.
Oh, yeah.
It was better organized. There was more to it. It wasn't just, here's a whole bunch of PCs and some random spattering of games on the side. It was a larger area, and it was, like I said, a lot more variety there. There's just about every kind of tabletop game I could name.
Yeah. And you got an expansion for Machikoro.
Yeah, stay tuned to at the Nickscast on Instagram. All the swag will be going up on display, and I assume yours as well.
Yeah. Lumpy Space Pharmacist. I'm going to post some of I got a couple of pictures of my cosplay so you can see it kind of in full, and I'll take pictures of the stuff I got as well.
my stuff will be up on stream. I'll have to come out of hiatus to do it, but
Should I post the pictures that I took on Instagram?
Yeah, post
You
them
should.
on the Nickscast.
Also
for
on
sure.
at the Nickscast.
I've already thrown some pictures up on Twitter,
Okay.
so that's available there.
You'll see stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a whole lot of pictures. Or maybe a
Absolutely.
small number of pictures. You're gonna see pictures.
Yeah.
I would probably go back. It'd be different if you guys didn't live here.
Yeah,
you'd
because
be
then
coming
we'd
in
have-
and going back.
We'd have
in the
more
same day.
logistics to deal with,
Yeah.
but because obviously, like, this is our
We just have to
apartment.
plan a crazy weekend. in
Well, I
London.
assume that we'd come in, we'd go to
Saturday
an
would be
escape room.
entirely escape rooms.
Yeah, shout out to Mystery Escape Rooms. We went last night. We liked it so much that we went a second time tonight
and found,
on either side of the con.
and found out that they're going to be opening another location.
So
Yeah.
so we just found out that this is I guess we knew they existed, but this is the thing that we like.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
We just basically needed to get the team together.
exactly.
It's
We
essentially
need, we need a bigger team. for
Now
this
we've
time.
Stay tuned for getting the Nickscast family together to
Yeah.
do the Haunted Mansion.
Oh man, if we go to an adventure room that lets us record, that would be awesome.
That'd be something.
It would be terrible, but it would be awesome.
Well, they said the Haunted Mansion, it's modular, so they can swap out puzzles on that one.
Yeah, I still
Yeah.
don't know if they want.
Yeah,
to
we'll
record it.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll figure it out.
But even if we did like a
There
recap
was-
afterwards, like, it would be if we have the rest of the Nickscast family. Yeah.
Before, it's just
Yeah.
like feeling really good afterwards. It's like you screwed it up, G. You screwed it up.
Wow.
Yeah, so you may hear more.
Speaking of screw ups.
Screwed it up, G.
No, never mind. We'll leave that little safe dragging incident.
Oh come on! We still made it out with plenty of time to spare.
No need to elaborate on that. For
That's
anybody who's
that's
going,
for us.
who's going to do the other rooms.
I totally recommend go.
Go.
Go. If you're in London or you're visiting London and you have time, please go to Mystery Escape Rooms.
If you're not,
Maybe not all of you, so we can still get time slots.
If you're not in London, apparently they're in tons of other
Yeah.
locations.
They're in
If-
Kitchener for sure. They're
it's
in
probably in Summertown.
Toronto.
Or
yeah.
something.
If you're not sure,
Or, whatever.
go.
Apparently
Yeah.
there's a site called google.ca. Use this to search for reputable locations.
Any
Not
final
someone's
words?
basement.
Yes, read reviews.
It's hard not to conflate.
Thank you for your final words.
It's hard not to conflate the escape rooms with like the rest of the thing. Because it was like a big weekend of
Oh, it was, yeah.
fun. But yeah, I definitely had a good experience at the con. It felt again brief, but what was there was good. The illusion was great. The panels we went to were good. Would go again.
I might actually put myself through cosplaying again. Or got enough positive feedback that I
know
might
that
actually do it.
Carries
It's
forward.
like there's this like threshold, and you're just like,
Yeah.
okay.
For sure, like people, especially again, like true comic book fans. Like I don't want to be like true comic book fans, but people who are familiar with the Golden Age and maybe even more with the Flash TV show having Jay Garrick as a character now. They like this costume. I'm not 100% happy with it. I'd like to tweak it, and maybe do one with pants. But like this is a potential. I've got a bunch of other ones that I've toyed around with, and so now I have some time and a little bit more motivation to actually do it again. But I don't see any. I feel like I don't see any reason now not to cosplay if I go to a con again.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure I will, and I
Yeah.
would definitely go
And
to this one
I
again.
think we're right at the end of the con season, so you have a good little
Like
chunk of time.
6 months at the very least to get my act together. You guys.
I'm psyched for Halloween. I don't have any time to get a costume together, but,
But
I'm
you
gonna
have
try.
motivation.
I'm gonna try it. I've got motivation. So thank you for City Comic Con for putting me in an unenviable position. It's my fault that I'm here where I am, but I'm gonna get there.
You know
and
what?
Thank you for the motivation.
This was done in like 4 days, so
Sweet. I have hope now.
Yes.
You have hope.
yeah.
I have hope because I have materials.
Like I pretty much put this together in about 4 days.
All right, so that could wrap us up.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please check out our podcast at soundcloud.com/the Nickscast or on iTunes, Stitcher, and all those other good places where good podcasts are heard.
Yep. You can also check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/the Nickscast, facebook.com/the Nickscast.
Instagram at the Nickscast.
Yeah, we're the Nickscast. Or nick@thenickscast.com if you want to send us any questions, queries, comments, concerns.
I always start with praise, and no
criticisms.
one else remembers to do that.
I
Praise,
want
comments,
pra-
questions, concerns, and queries.
I just like the alliteration of it. Anyway, send us all that good stuff, recipes, whatever.
Good Go. You want
Send
to
us stuff.
Yeah, send recipes. I'll make them. I basically am
We'll
the
eat 'em.
Nickscast test
We will eat
kitchen.
'em.
We'll eat 'em.
You want to give a plug for your?
Yeah, sure. You'll find the links below, no doubt. The GOAT VVH0R3 on Twitch.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Yes, it does. Twitch.tv/the GOAT VVH0R3. I am also the GOAT VVH0R3 on Twitter. Or the GOAT VVH0R3 at hotmail.com.
We'll leave the mystery as to what that points to.
And I'm on my Instagram at Lumpy Space Pharmacist. I should probably get my Twitter going, but right now it's pretty much Instagram for me, right? So check out my Instagram, give me follows, I'll follow you back.
So, we'll see you next con whenever that is, but you can hear us 3 times a week right now.
Yeah.
So go check out all the fantastic content. Check
With some
out the first
combination.
episode of the Z Show, which just went up this weekend.
Who's not here, but
But
we love him.
is he in
Here in
spirit?
spirit.
He's here in
All right.
spirit. Yeah, some combination of us
We
is
miss
all
you,
of
Z.
the
Come back to us.
podcasts.
This is-
Alright.
we did that before.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Ta-da.